Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and I am here today with my weekly vlog, which is designed to inspire you, hopefully, to get in the mood to create something. This week we are going to be focused on how to create value and how to accurately place a value on your projects. Last night we wrapped up the final segment in my last masterclass for 2021. We call that AMC if you're not familiar, and that simply stands for Andrea's Masterclass. Coincidentally, those are also my initials, Andrea Marie Chapman, so it seems it was meant to be. Anyways, our focus for this session of AMC was on hardware and how we could incorporate hardware into an existing Sewspire design and up-level that design with the use of hardware. So when you work with hardware, that of course adds weight and expense to the bag, because with the weight of the hardware, you have to make sure that you have the proper structure or interfacing to support that. And so last night, the ladies of AMC presented their finished masterpieces. They are all unique, they are all beautiful, and everybody truly took their Sewspire design to the next level. If you are a member of our Facebook group page, you may get the pleasure of seeing some of those finished bags pop up in the feed. I've asked everybody to please share photos. But anyways, after they presented their bag, I asked them approximately how much money do you think it cost you to make this bag? And I think we all realize that our instinct is to stop the valuation after we add up what the fabric costs. And so what we came to realize really quickly, and there just was absolutely no disputing it, the most expensive part of the project is the hardware and the interfacing. And the interfacing is substantially more expensive than the hardware. So that's really something for you to think about when you are making your bags, right? Like, how much is this really going to cost you? Not that cost should prohibit you from making it, but my point of this is make sure you account for the cost so that you give the project its proper value, right? And I think a lot of us just think, oh, because we can make it, that makes it somehow worth less. But I think that the opposite might be true, because most of us are not sourcing our materials wholesale or in bulk like manufacturers would. So it actually costs more to hand make an item versus produce a designer label is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, I want to go through the pricing for you so you can see how much exactly it cost me to craft this gorgeous autumn tote. If you're just joining us, there are 4 videos that unfolded in the month of October that will show you step by step how to produce this beautiful bag. In addition, I also have a supplemental PDF which has all the pattern measurements, material requirements, and then very concise written instructions if you would like to make your own autumn tote. So for me to make this bag, I used a variety of hardware, some faux leather, some beautiful linen, and then cotton on the inside. Soft and stable was my interfacing, in addition to Pellon 808. And just a guess, any guesses out there for anybody on the chat, how much I spent just on materials? I will let you know I did wholesale buy the hardware, and I bulk purchased the interfacing. So I saved a little bit there, and that's why these numbers might look a little lower to you, but I did pay full retail for the fabric. I also wholesale purchased the faux leather. So about half of the bag is wholesale or bulk purchased, and then the linen and the cotton on the inside I paid full retail for. Okay, so any guesses right now? I'll be watching the chat to see how accurate you are, and then I'm going to throw up a little template here. This spreadsheet is available on the Sewspire group page. I did not create it. It was created by a member of that page, and she did a brilliant job with it, and it makes it really easy for you to get a sum total on your materials for sure. We're going to go a little more in detail towards the end of this video on my thoughts on actually pricing the bag to sell. That's different than what we're talking about right now. Right now, I just want to know how much it costs you to make it. If you had to have a certain amount of money in your bank account to go buy the supplies, and you had to have a certain amount of time set aside, that's what we're looking at right now. So I'll throw up a little screen share for you so you can follow along with me. Okay, so my half a yard of the pebble leather cost me $8, again at wholesale. A yard of the soft and stable at bulk pricing, which by bulk pricing I mean I purchased the whole bolt of that, so I saved a little. It wasn't wholesale per se. That cost me $6. The yard of the linen canvas here, the orange on the exterior, cost me $16. The cotton on the inside, which is Anna Maria Horner quilt weight cotton, is $15. The key fob was wholesale. That's $1.50, and I had one of those, or excuse me, the key fob is $1. Then the tassel hardware, that is the little cap that's on the tassel, cost $1.50. Okay, I was a little confused looking at that. The spreadsheet rounds up, so I couldn't figure that out. So the tassel cap was $1.50. I have 6 rivets incorporated in the design, and those cost me 48 cents. And then the Pellon 808 was $6. The zipper, which was zipper by the yard and wholesale, is $1.25. The zipper pull is 50 cents, and then the bag feet are $2. So my total in materials to produce this bag with a combination of pricing models is $47.98. Okay, so because I have been making and selling bags for more than a decade, I feel like $20 an hour is very fair labor charge for my level of skill. And so I calculate my labor at $20 an hour, and it's been quite some time since I increased that hourly rate. Now, so if I were planning to make this bag and I wanted to make sure that I allotted myself enough time to finish it, I would set aside 5 hours to make this bag. So 5 times 20 is $100 in labor. So roughly I am up at about $157.73 in materials and labor to produce this. So if I'm just giving it away, it's a gift, and I just want to have a valuation in my mind. The minimum value on this bag is $157.73. And I think that that is actually really reasonable for this bag. I personally would pay that if I saw a pretty bag in the store that I really liked, that had the features I liked, and even, better if it was a one of a kind. So I think right there, that's a really fair cost. Now, that's the pricing model that I used when I was making and selling stuff in my Etsy shop, with two exceptions. I would add in the cost of shipping to the price. So for this one, I would estimate shipping to be $15, so I could just put it in a flat rate box and have insurance and tracking. And then I always added 10% to the list price to cover the credit card fees and the listing fees. So I would add another $30 to that formula that I just gave you, which includes your labor and your materials. So this bag, if I were going to sell it, would list in my Etsy shop for $178, and it probably would sell. I sold bags for more than that for many, many years. So I think that's a fair way to calculate your pricing if you want to sell online, right? If there's no one in between you and the sale, that's a great model for you to use. Another formula which results in similar pricing is to just take the materials, which in my case was about $48, times 3, just times 3, that gets me to $144. And then again, I would add in the shipping, $15, and the listing fees, $15, and I would be right back up in that 170-ish range. So what I suggest you do if you're really trying to figure out how to price, and you'll notice at the bottom of the spreadsheet that I use, the formula that she has in there has your production cost, which is materials and labor, then your wholesale cost, which is production cost times 2, which would make this bag $315, and then retail cost, which is wholesale cost times 2, which would make it retail $630. Like, I think all of us can agree that's completely out of the realm of reality in today's market. Not that she isn't correct with the spreadsheet. She is. For a long time, that was the model. I think you would be waiting forever for someone to buy this bag for $600. So what I suggest you do is find 2 pricing models that you like. They're all flawed. They really are. There's not a pricing model out there that is absolutely perfect, but you need to design one that works for you. Like the model that I came up with worked really well for me and ensured that I was actually sewing for a profit and not taking a loss. But what I suggest you do is find 2 pricing models that you're comfortable using, and then take the 2 results from those models and average them and go with that as your price. So I hope that that is helpful to some of you who are out there making and selling, or making and gifting your projects, so that you can assign a value in your mind at least. And then we had another really great discussion last night about a bag that was made that one of the gals is going to give away, but she knows the person that she's giving it to will insist on paying, and she doesn't feel good about having her pay because she knows some parts of the project were not up to her standard. And so we suggested tuck some business cards in the pocket, give her the bag, and ask her to please do you a favor, and when she gets compliments on it, hand out one of your business cards. And then we took it a next step further, and we said, make sure you tell them that the bag is valued at $170, so that people taking the cards, when they reach out, you've already set the expectation for the bag. And that's one of the great things about having an online shop or a website or even a social media profile where you list your prices. You're clearing a massive hurdle by setting the expectation. This is what the cost is, because it's not really up to you to justify the cost. It's not. You just have to run the numbers. It is what it is. It's like non-emotional. That's the price. It's not up to you to justify the expense to someone else, okay? You don't have access to their bank account. You don't have access to their needs. You don't have any idea if they should or should not buy your bag. That's completely up to them. Do not take it personally, right? You make spending decisions all the time, and it's not a reflection of the shop you're in. It's just more a reflection of your needs and your budget. So I want to kind of roll this in now to some tips that I've learned in my decade plus of making and selling handmade goods. And I'll keep it pretty brief, but I just want to touch on online retail, as in you're going to like consign your items, or you're going to have someone else sell your items in their shop, and then face to face. I have real life experience in all three of those situations, multiple years. So for online sales, the number one suggestion I have for you that will make all the difference in the world is learn how to take really good product photos. And here's some tips on how you can do that, but I highly encourage you to study photography. There's lots and lots of YouTubes and books at the library, and you can practice, but here are my tips for excellent product photos. Shoot on macro mode. You should be using a DSLR. You can get away with your iPhone, but it does not compare to a real camera. And that camera should be on macro for product photography. Shoot with natural light. You can position by a window, or you can shoot outdoors, but natural light, nothing compares to natural light between the hours of 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. The closer you get to 5 p.m., the golden hour, the better the light is going to be. Early morning light, like after the sun has come up, say before 9 o'clock, is also really beautiful light to shoot in. And then have a plain wall. This navy blue wall is amazing for product photography. A white wall is also amazing for product photography, or a kind of off-white. But a solid background, nothing compares to a wall versus a fake background. So clear some space and find a wall next to a window, and then use one prop, like a stool or a chair, a very clean look, just painted, find a wooden stool at the thrift store and paint it with chalk paint, and your plain wall, a window, and macro setting. Your product photos will go next level, and your sales will be the evidence of that. Now, for those of you that are going to consign or place your items in a shop with someone else, my best advice for you is make sure it's a win-win. The shop owner has rent to pay or a mortgage to pay. They have insurance. They have all kinds of taxes. You can't imagine the taxes that a shop owner has to file and pay. It's outrageous. The number of entities that a shop owner has to keep up with, and the record keeping. They by far have the greatest liability because it could be returned. It could be lost, in a flooding situation. It could be stole. So the shop owner for sure is taking the majority of the risk in this particular transaction. So you want to make sure it's a win for them and it's a win for you, right? Because And they should want this too, because if they're going to take the time to build a relationship with you and promote your products, they're going to want to make sure that you can continue to keep your section stocked. So when you're negotiating this, come in on a level playing field. No one is superior, and work to negotiate a win-win. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is negotiable. So if you really want to be in that location, work together for a win-win and let them know that right up front. I want to make this a win-win for both of us. Here's my cost to produce this piece. Here's the time it takes me to produce this piece. Here's the rate I charge per hour based upon my skill level. What do you suggest would be fair? And go from there. Okay, let's say you're going to do face-to-face sales, which I know lots of you are out there building your inventory, getting ready for the holiday season. This is a rocking, awesome time to be a handmade maker. This will be the year that people are really going to be looking for unique quality gifts. Your timing is perfect, so keep on sewing and producing. But let's make sure you're charging a fair price for your products, even at the craft fairs. Now, I personally think that's the hardest position to be in. Face to face with your customer, and like at most you got like a table between you and the customer, like you're not even in a shop where they can kind of wander around or look at other things or say they'll come back. So you really have to be personable. And that doesn't mean like a fake smile, right? And a cheery attitude. People can sense your energy before they even get up on you. So you already, before they ever get in your little nexus there, have to be in a positive state of mind. You have to be confident, and you have to have that perspective that I talked about. It's not your job to convince them of the price. The price is the price. It's only your job to provide information about the product and, if possible, help them meet their needs. Okay? Help them figure out if this will meet their needs. So, what I liked to do when I was in those situations is promise myself, just take all the risk out of the deal by promising myself that I'm not going to determine if the day was a success or a failure based upon how many things I sold. I was going to determine if the day was a success based upon how many people I met. Whoa, right? Because you never, ever, 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 I repeat, ever, underline, ever know if they might reach out in the future. So your number one goal at a craft show should be to make a positive impression, not to sell. The sales will happen naturally. It really will. And so just to recap, for any of you who haven't had the chance to watch our 6-year Sewspire celebration when I told my handmade journey, I started selling at craft fairs. And then I started selling online. And then I opened a brick and mortar retail shop, and I sold my stuff and other handmade artisans' goods. So I promise you this is rock solid advice, and my intention is purely to be helpful. If you have questions surrounding selling handmade goods, please, please, please drop those in the comments. I will try to get to as many of them as I can in a future Friday vlog, or on Sewspire.com, or on the group Facebook page. But I am super passionate about women in business and handmade makers, and I love to help in that respect. So also, as promised, on Fridays through the end of the year, I'm going to be giving away 6 packs of my Sewspire PDFs. And so this is the 3rd week now, so I am going to announce 6 winners. I select these individuals at random, if you will, from the members of the Sewspire Facebook group page, okay? And if you're curious who the other 12 winners are, review the last 2 Friday vlogs and see if you might be one of them. Okay, so this week our winners are Lisa Mates, Ida Dunham, Christy Nolan, Debbie Schuler, Valerie Enters, and Annette Taylor. Congratulations, ladies. I will put the link to my Etsy pattern shop down in the notes. Click on that, browse the selection, choose your 6 PDFs, and then send me a Facebook message from the group page so I know it's you, and let me know which 6 PDFs you would like, complimentary, and your email address, and I will deliver those just as soon as I see the message. And then I also want to invite everyone to join me Tuesday, November 2nd, I believe. I can't believe it's already November. We're going to start a new project. It is going to be inspired by my City Slicker tote. We are going to convert that into a messenger bag. And I am hopefully going to be keeping the zipper top, but I'm going to convert it into a messenger bag that's going to have a zipper on the side of that messenger flap. So it's going to be a really fun project. It's not going to look anything like the City Slicker when I'm done with it. That's just the design that is inspiring it. And I want to thank Veronica, Sewspire patron, for that. She chose the City Slicker as her AMC project. She did a brilliant job with that bag, and it made me really want to make another one. So thank you, Veronica. And so we're going to start that. On Tuesday, we're going to begin by cutting out the fabric, which I want to show you. I have already made my selection. This is going to be really different as well. I am going to be working with this absolutely stunning navy faux leather, or yeah, it's like a faux leather. It's really wonderful. It's from Sally Tomato, and I'm going to pair that with flannel. Yeah, this is going to be a fun project. You're not going to want to miss this. So join me Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to get all of the pieces cut out. With any good luck, I'm going to have the PDF ready for you then as well. And then in week 2, we will assemble the exterior. In week 3, the interior. In week 4, we'll hook up for Q&A and finishing details. Okay? Hope everybody has an awesome weekend. I thank you for joining me. And as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you.